So you may have seen my video where I went and picked up my 2024 GT3RS. This car is in Arctic Gray. It has every possible option. It has a very high mid 300K sticker, 320 and change to be exact, and it has magnesium wheels, the Y-Sock pack, the full interior. It's very pretty and large to look at. I mean, later we'll do a video next to my GT3RS, which was and quickly became one of my favorite cars under $500,000. But this car somehow, every guy on YouTube and their mother is talking about it. If you actually search GT3RS review for the last year, non-stop reviews of these cars have flooded YouTube, and all of them have a lot of views, which tells you this is a very popular car. And you guys know on this channel, I don't review anything I don't own, and so I decided I'm going to pay over 6 figures over a sticker to go pick up what I consider the biggest piece of shit ever made in Porsche history. And I'm going to tell you exactly why in very detail, because at Exotic Car Hacks, as you know, we teach people how to drive cars for free. If you want to learn how to do that, go in the description, click our free training on how to do this. And if you want to actually join our community of 22,000 people I've helped to get in their exotic cars without losing money, then you can click that link too. So let's talk about this wonderful, beautiful car. It's very wide and it's very pretty. Honestly, I have praised the Porsche platform for the 992 variant being one of the best Porsche variants of all time. It combines everything we love about the 993 and it brings us all the functionality and beauty of the 991. So all of these together, expanded even further, and suddenly you have some beautiful cars. I own quite a bit of Porsches. Right here is my 918, my 992 GT3RS, my 991 GT2RS, and even my 993 right on top here. So I have a pretty decent grasp on what I consider the best of each or every generation worth collecting. So it has every option. It's as good as it's going to be, and color is subjective, but this is a very popular color. It's like a Grigio Telesto for Lamborghini or a Nardo Gray for many other brands, and it has all the carbon options you can get. But that just is the problem. Take a look at this. You have, let's talk about design here for a moment. We're not even talking about what I hate about it. Let's talk about design. Look at how incredibly exciting it looks. Look at how beautiful this carbon hood looks. Look at how it follows to this beautiful carbon roof and this incredibly large, gigantic wing mimicking this gigantic wing here. It is superb, right? It even has all this crazy shit that's supposed to move when you drive. But that's the problem. This has every possible option. What about this piece of plastic shit? What about this piece of shit? What about this piece of shit? What about this? What about the entire front f***ing bumper? Why is it plastic on a $300,000 car? Why did they not say, pay us 50 grand more and we will make that shit carbon for you? Well, there's a good reason. Porsche says this is a track car. And as a track car, obviously these parts are very cheap to fix, so you can enjoy it without worrying about it. I completely disagree. Because, let's take a moment here, this is also a track car. Carbon, carbon, carbon everywhere. Every possible carbon options on this car, and it has carbon even at the bottom. So there's no reason why Porsche couldn't put carbon on this car. So that's problem one. Design doesn't make sense. Look at how beautiful the shape is, and then you have this gigantic, ugly-ass eyesore right here. Why is this here? And why is this here? I mean, like, I get it. Look, even the GT3RS has carbon here, and no carbon at the bottom. I can accept that, but I can't accept this. It just doesn't make sense. Why would this not be carbon? I mean, for the love of God, we have PPF film these days. These things get covered anyways. Who cares? Why do I have to go pay a third-party company like 9 Design $50,000 for a kit so I can make my car look good, and then you can tell me my warranty is void because I opened the fender or some shit? So it's completely stupid in its limitation of design. That's step one. Let's talk about step two. The driving. It goes 9,000 RPMs. But before we even get to the actual 9,000 RPMs, we have to negotiate this door. So the problem with this door is this. These doors are lightweight doors, and they almost never shut unless you slam them. Super annoying. Even more annoying, not on the outside, but inside the car, which you slam the door because it has lighter doors and it doesn't want to close the door. It's annoying. Next segment, before we actually get to the driving, is the actual flowing in the car. Now, we know with bucket seats, it's not as convenient. No problem there. That's a personal decision. You can actually buy premium, very nice comfort seats. So this is a decision. But why do we have comfort seats on a track-only car? So that doesn't make sense. The second piece that I personally don't know why I feel so strongly about, in the other cars, all this shit isn't trashy plastic here. And on this car it is. It feels just very cheap. As a matter of fact, the Alcantara feels very cheap compared to my STO, and I don't understand why, because this has the highest level options. In addition to that, one of the things I don't understand either about this car is just why can't it be both a road car and a race car? And the issue I have with this is that every GT car before this was, but this one somehow is just for the track to curb criticism. And I disagree with that, because why do I have so many despite hating the brand so much? They overcharge us at dealerships. They call non-VIPs VIPs because they give them their cars back and let them make their adjusted market values. They try to prevent flippers from buying their cars, but they will go ahead and allow flippers to buy their cars as long as they cut them in, or they are the flippers themselves as their dealer. The brand has gone bananas and makes no sense. They will void your warranty for no reason. They won't do business with you because you talk trash on the internet. Well, I mean, I just don't give a shit, so I do it. But the argument here that I'm making is that this brand has gone down the toilet, but they've always had a solid product. But they had a driver's product. That's why I own so many despite hating the brand. This is one of the best driving hypercars of all time. This is one of the best driving cars under $500,000 of all time. This is one of the best, purest, older 90s cars of all time. So the argument is, why can't this be one of the greatest road and track cars of all time? Well, I think we've hit this plateau for Porsche where they basically think we're just idiots. And anything they will put out, we will buy because they have a new gimmick. And the gimmick on this car is the aero. The aero is the gimmick that this basically does just as well with pure carbon on every freaking panel. Every panel of this is carbon, and this is more of a track car, I would argue, than even this, because this doesn't even have a glove compartment. It doesn't even have a place for you to put your cell phone, but this does. And while its hood has become useless, because it's like completely useless, let me show you this. There's nothing going on here, like absolutely nothing. I literally came to put my gym bag and I was like, what the f, what happened to everything? Boom, nothing, can't do anything with it. Like, this doesn't even need to open technically, unless this idiot wants to work on it or something. But we never even want to let the dealer work on it because they're morons. But anyways, so this whole thing is completely useless. It's got very little room inside, which is fine, and it's supposed to be a track car. That is a track car. This is a rich man's track car. It is insane, it is low to the ground, it has all this lightweight savings, and it has carbon everywhere. And these materials make you feel like you didn't get ripped off. So let's take this for a moment back to the driving. It sounds terrible. It drives very slow in a straight line. It's constantly being pulled back. You're on the highway, you want to get a run at it. I'm not trying to adjust into a computer game on Gran Turismo. The second piece is this aero not only drags the car back in a straight line and is absolutely superb in a corner, which is great, which is about 20% of your driving, which is in a turn slower, which you don't have the opportunity on a road, will use this aero, and the 80% will not, which is great. And the one time you go to the track a year, you'll feel like a hero in every way possible, unless your neighbor has one, because they made, what, like they're gonna make 4,000 of these things, which is not even exclusive on any basis. So like, I've just said what every person on the internet won't say. This car makes no sense, and it needs to just be more of what it was, like the 991.1 GT3RS, which was great on the street, incredible on the track, and didn't have all this fancy shit on it. And even though it had no carbon either, it didn't have this extreme design with plastic everywhere. So if you're gonna make the design that beautiful and extreme, then follow through with the rest of the shit, so at least you have something that's like, holy shit, this is beautiful, and it's incredible to look at, and it's incredible to drive in the street, and it's worth every penny of the rip-off $200K over sticker I'm gonna pay for this shit box. So that is my take on this. So let's end this video talking about YouTubers who have praised this trash, only driving this on the track to review it. Probably because Porsche forced them to, but there is a couple of YouTubers actually said something really good. It's a great track car and I would never buy one. And I was like, wow, refreshing. But you have to watch the whole video because the whole clickbait thing at the beginning is like, oh my God, I want to jerk off to Porsche and it's the best track car. But at the end, they're like, I wouldn't own one. There's one dude who was like, this is the best car ever made. I'll never own one. And I was like, okay, that's a good title. And I'm like, thank you. If this dynamic of a car was on a 918, a Mission X or Carrera GT or something that only 10, or should I say 10 people or 1% of the population would ever get to touch, then I would tell you, okay, it's probably gonna sit in a garage anyway. It's extreme, it's exciting, and then it would have carbon everywhere, right? It would make sense, but this doesn't make any sense. And that is the first time I can tell you that I think Porsche has now hit their peak and is downgrading their ability to make cars for drivers and instead making cars for marketing. And I think that is the best way I can tell you that the 992 GT3RS has lost its identity. And I will equally trash the GT2RS once it comes out, because this is a GT3RS. Once the GT2RS comes out, I can't wait to see if it's actually going to be much better. Will they have improved all this shit because they listen, or will they have stopped giving a their customers the same way they don't regulate their dealerships? So time will tell, guys. You will have to find out. As I said, we will do one other review here with this car driving, and then one final review when I've modded it. I'm going to add a cage because obviously it looks bare and boring inside. I'm going to redo the seat inserts because they're trashy and cheap, and I'm going to redo some of this carbon and of course put a full blasted race exhaust and drive it on the street and see if that fixes the shitbox. And the argument is, if it does, why couldn't Porsche do it from the factory if they care so much about the driving experience? This is my honest and real brutal review about the GT3RS, and the only video you need to watch before you actually go and pay $100K over sticker to feel jerked off by a dealer just to get into something that makes you cry on the way home. Not tears of joy, but rather tears of sadness that you're basically stuck with this until you can find a way to get rid of it. You know, everyone knows me as this car guy. I'm a big car collector. I love cars, and more importantly, they know me for making good decisions, gaining in and out of cars in order to maximize my return. But what if I told you that one of the ways I was able to buy all these cars has been by trading watches? But I'm not here to tell you about my other company, Watch Trading Academy. Instead, I'm here to tell you about a question I get asked at Watch Trading Academy a lot, which is, how do you sell watches confidently and, more importantly, in a safe manner online? Simply put, I use this company called Grailsy. It is a safe and very transparent way to sell a watch online. Not only do they handle the whole transaction from A to Z, but they make it safe for both the buyer and the seller. And because they really cater to real buyers and not just other watch traders, as a seller, you're always getting a great premium on a watch, especially when you're selling it. And as a buyer, you never know when you can find a great deal. So definitely check them out at grailsy.com. They're an incredible company, and they've been the best place to safely buy and sell luxury watches.
Grailsy. Buy and sell iconic timepieces.